Right now, as you watch this explainer, a handful of Australians woke up this morning and made more money before breakfast than most people earn in an entire year. And the worst part? It's not luck, it's not inheritance, and it's definitely not about working harder. It is a system that 95% of Australians are completely trapped inside, and honestly, most of them don't even know it. I'm going to show you exactly what that system is, why it keeps most people broke their entire lives, and the one major shift that changes everything. Oh, and stick around until the end, because that last point is something nobody talks about, and it might just be the most important thing you hear all year. Welcome back. If you're new here, we are all about one thing: building real, lasting wealth in the modern economy. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's quickly map out our journey for today. First, we'll expose the wealth system itself. Then, we're going to tear down the three invisible walls, keeping everyday people stuck: the employee trap, lifestyle creep, and the education gap. Finally, we'll open up the 5% playbook and reveal that crucial identity shift. All right, section 1, the wealth system exposed. Let's look at the raw, unfiltered truth of our modern economy. So why will 95% of Australians never be rich? I mean, really think about it. The average worker is putting in 40, 50, sometimes even 60-hour weeks. They're doing absolutely everything society told them to do, right? Go to school, get a degree, land a good job, pay your taxes, save a little for retirement, and yet they're literally just one bad month away from serious financial stress. Why is that? Well, because hard work alone just isn't the whole equation. Nobody ever taught them the actual rules of the game. And this core problem is brilliantly illustrated right here by some really eye-opening data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics. Look at this. The top 10% of households hold over 45% of all the wealth in the country. Meanwhile, the bottom 16%, they're left to scrape by and share less than 17% of it. Think about that for a second. The gap isn't just massive, it's completely structural. The overarching premise we're looking at here is that this lack of wealth, it's not because you lack ambition, and it certainly isn't because you're lazy. It's because you're operating in a system that was specifically designed to make you a reliable spending consumer, not to make you rich. People are stuck on this giant hamster wheel, governed by hidden rules they were simply never taught. Which brings us to section 2, wall number 1, the employee trap. So the employee trap is essentially this financial cycle where you trade your limited time for money, which naturally results in a strict income ceiling. Now, let me be perfectly clear here. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a stable job. A job pays the bills, a job is real, and it provides immediate security. But relying solely on a wage, that inherently caps your wealth-building potential. Because here's the brutal math. Step 1, you trade your time for money. Step 2, your time is fundamentally limited. There are only so many hours in a day, right? Which inevitably leads to step 3. Your income hits a hard ceiling. You get stuck there. But here is the real kicker. While your salary is hitting that ceiling, inflation, the cost of living, housing prices, they just keep climbing right past it, quietly widening the gap between your income and your living costs every single year. And this creates a really distinct difference in behavior. The 95% approach making an income by selling their time, which means they are constantly hitting those ceilings. The top 5%, on the other hand, they approach it completely differently. They focus on building systems, they acquire assets, and build businesses that literally make money while they sleep. They aren't selling their time, they're detaching their income from time entirely. Okay, moving right along to section 3. Now we're getting into the really sneaky psychological and educational barriers keeping people stuck, walls number 2 and 3. Wall number 2 is what I like to call the lifestyle inflation spiral. And here's how it always plays out. You work hard, you get a well-deserved raise, and you feel great. So what happens next? You upgrade your car, you move to a slightly bigger place, you eat out a bit more, maybe book a nicer holiday. And just like that, your expenses go up exactly as fast as your income. Your net worth stays exactly the same. Economists call it lifestyle creep, but really, it's an invisible tax on ambition that completely neutralizes your financial growth. You're earning more than ever, but you aren't actually building anything. See, most people try to enjoy wealth first by inflating their lifestyle, and then they try to build wealth with whatever pennies happen to be left over. It is completely backwards. The 5% operate in reverse. They build the wealth first, they aggressively keep their expenses flat when their income goes up and pump the difference straight into assets. And then they enjoy the wealth later, once those assets are paying for their lifestyle. And then there's wall number 3, the education gap. Now, our schools are fantastic at teaching science, math, and history, but they completely ignore how money actually functions. Nobody explains compound interest in a way that feels real. There's no clarity on assets versus liabilities, no strategy on navigating the tax system, and zero real guidance on superannuation to make sure it makes you rather than breaks you. I want to pause for just a second to let the gravity of this ANZ financial well-being survey data really land. It found that millions feel anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed because they were never given the tools. Financial stress isn't born from laziness, it is born from a fundamental lack of tools. Once you truly understand that the system wasn't designed to empower you, but just to make you a good, reliable spending consumer, man, everything changes. So let's talk about the way out. Section 4, the 5% Playbook. What are the wealthiest people actually doing to break through these walls? The source outlines 5 incredibly disciplined habits that the wealthy swear by. 1. Pay yourself first. They automatically invest before buying groceries or paying for Netflix. 2. Buy assets, not liabilities. 3. Create multiple income streams. 4. Pursue constant financial education. And 5, think long-term. They are quietly planting seeds today that will grow into massive forests while everyone else is out there chasing instant gratification. To really wrap our heads around habit 2, we need to look at how the 5% ruthlessly categorize their spending. Liabilities, like a brand new car or a flashy watch, take money out of your pocket. Assets, like a rental property or a solid share portfolio, put money into your pocket. The 5% will choose income-producing assets over depreciating liabilities every single time. Honestly, it's non-negotiable for them. And take a look at this number, 7. According to the data, this is just staggering. The average millionaire has 7 different income streams. 7. It absolutely proves that a single salary is just the starting line, not the entire race. If you only have one source of income, you are incredibly vulnerable to economic shifts. Building multiple streams is exactly how you construct real, lasting financial armor. Finally, Section 5. Let's move to the ultimate wealth secret that I promised you at the start. This moves way past the math and spreadsheets and goes straight into human psychology, the identity shift. The source makes this brilliant assertion that the biggest reason 95% of Australians won't be rich isn't actually the economy or crazy housing prices. It's an ingrained identity. Listen to this quote. Most people deep down don't actually believe they're the kind of person who becomes wealthy, and so they self-sabotage. It's wild, right? They've been told their whole lives that money is for other people, so every time they make a little progress, fear kicks in and they subconsciously find a way to blow it or just stop. The absolute key takeaway here is that you must change your relationship with money at the fundamental identity level, or none of the strategies we just talked about will stick. Wealth is not selfish. Financial freedom is not greedy. Actually, it's the exact opposite. Achieving financial freedom allows you to be a less stressed partner, a much more present parent, and a better friend. You have absolutely earned the right to pursue it. So I want to leave you with this. Which of the 3 invisible walls is holding you back the most right now? Is it the employee trap, the lifestyle inflation spiral, or the financial education gap? Take a hard look and identify your own barriers. And think about which habit from the 5% playbook you're going to implement today to change your financial trajectory. Let us know in the comments which wall you are tearing down first. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.